Well, welcome to a Pastor's Cafe. Happy New Year. Are you excited? Do you have some New Year's resolutions? You got your list ready to go? Because we're going to be talking about today's show. No, we're not. We're going to be talking about how wars won't stop and how governments will shake and control will increase. But you know what? We know this because Jesus told us this was going to happen. So we're not talking about what is happening. We are going to ask the question, how is the church going to respond? And we will be right back.
This broadcast is made possible by the friends and partners of LibertyNetwork.live. We thank you for your support.
Welcome back to the show. This is a Pastor's Cafe. I'm David, your host. I'm here with Pastor Steve Kern. Wars, rumors, and the watching world. It's a Pastor's Cafe episode 76. Are you excited about this new year?
I really am. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how all this stuff plays out.
Oh, yeah.
Over the next year. There's a lot of things happening right now that I don't think the American people are really all that accustomed to, like a president going into a place and removing the dictator and bringing him to this country to go to court, when we've just 2 presidents ago, we were sending billions of dollars to Iran.
I know.
And trying to appease everybody.
I know, yeah.
And so we're kind of in a different kind of leadership mentality, I guess you could say.
Okay, since you brought it up, Venezuela and what took place there, I do want to let you know that this is very interesting. So back in the day, I used to play a lot of video games. I don't play many video games anymore, but I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. And there's a game that was called Call of Duty Ghosts. And one of the missions was that you had to go into Venezuela and kidnap the president and bring him back. Call of Duty Ghosts.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. And guess what? The year. Okay, what was the president? What's his name? Starts with an M. What's his name?
Oh
my goodness. The president that we just kidnapped.
Oh, Maduro.
Maduro.
I thought you were one of our presidents. No.
The year he became president was the year that game was released. How about that?
But there was some history because you had, remember Noriega?
Yeah.
And they went in and took him out. You know, similar thing, brought him to Florida on court. And he got saved in prison.
Wow.
Noriega did.
Wow.
That's kind of an interesting.
That is interesting.
When they're talking about precedent, they're talking about those kinds of things that have happened in the past. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Don't you feel like we're just watching a big movie?
Well, yeah. It's
with all the predictive programming going on.
Well,
do you know that Skynet is almost online and we're getting ready to release Terminators? I'm just. Well, let's get to the questions of today. And yeah, the first one deals with Venezuela. So are you ready for the first question?
Well, let's hit it.
Okay, let's hit it. All right, here we go. Talking about Venezuela, collapse, control, and silence. Political arrests, economic failure, and mass immigration. Are these isolated issues or previews of global instability?
I'm afraid that it's probably some preview going on here. There's just too many other things going on. And of course, Trump, his deal is trying to do things to protect the United States from all these other countries. Well, what was the deal about Venezuela? Well, they're sending all these drugs in here. And he's claiming the Monroe Doctrine. That's really what the Monroe Doctrine was all about, was the United States has the right to protect their position and place in this part of the hemisphere. And if you've got countries out there that are doing things that are a threat to that we actually have the right to go and do something about it. And Trump, it's interesting. I read an article today about the Monroe Doctrine.
Gotcha.
And how that he's taken the Monroe Doctrine and kind of embellishing it quite a bit. But I do feel like that it's probably going to. Well, when they talked about Venezuela, then he himself, Trump's also mentioned countries like Cuba, and of course the instability, not necessarily in Iran, but that's there.
Yep.
And some of these other countries that in the Caribbean and things that where. He's wanting peace and all that, but yet apparently we have to understand that sometimes you've got to go, if you're going to have peace, you got to go in and remove the problem that's keeping there from being peace.
Sure. Now, isn't it amazing that there's a couple of things? So I believe the president was kidnapped like at 2 a.m., right? And it's amazing that already in the streets by 7 a.m., the protesters... Of course, the Venezuelan people were just celebrating left and right. Hallelujah, amen, we're free, we're free.
Yeah.
But then there was a political party in our country that it seemed like they organized it in several different cities because the signs all kind of matched.
The next day.
The next day.
Right there, the next morning.
Exactly.
That morning after it all took place.
And it's so crazy.
You're saying, okay, there's some inside stuff going on.
Exactly.
And
I wonder if... I don't know. This is all pure speculation. But I mean, I wonder if like Trump came out like tomorrow and say, I've got some scientists and some doctors and we cured all cancer. And everyone who has cancer will be immediately cured and healthy and everything's going to be great. I wonder if there would still be people protesting in the streets going, get Trump out, get Trump out.
Trying to take over the doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what's kind of scary is that it's not scary, but are we seeing the United States take control over the Western Hemisphere and then possibly China and Russia taking over the Eastern Hemisphere? Because now you have China almost like, are they going to have a green light now to take over Taiwan?
Well, I was talking about that this morning at a group of guys. I think one of the reasons why Trump is as bold as he is he's realizing that China and Russia really, in a financial situation and all, really are not totally capable of reacting militarily and that kind of thing.
I know, because you have Russia, which Kamala Harris really explained this really well. Russia is a big country, and Ukraine is a small country.
Yeah.
And the big country attacked the small country. What I'm getting at is that how long has this war in Ukraine been going on? Yeah. Don't tell me that Russia doesn't have an army that can go into Ukraine and basically take it in one day.
Well, that's one of the things that's really starting to happen in Russia. A lot of people, because there's been so many young men killed, and there's still no end to the war.
I know.
And Putin had the idea that he was going to go in there and have it all taken care of in a couple of weeks, and it ain't happening.
Nope.
And it seems like Zelensky is starting to be willing to come to some level of compromise, but Putin isn't.
What kind of signal did we just send to Putin and to China with our military having the precision to go into Venezuela and grab that president and get him out of Venezuela and into the United States? What does that say about our military?
Wow.
If I was in China or if I was in Russia, I'd be saying, look what they just did.
But that's on the cusp of what they did in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And look what's happening in Iran now.
Oh, I know.
So in Iran, you have the Ayatollahs, who all they are is concerned about is killing Israel and America, and so what they immediately start taking whatever money they've got and putting it into making more bombs and things and killing their economy. And so now the people over there are saying enough is enough,
right?
And Trump is basically telling the military over there, leave those people alone. So and you kind of see, and I think the leadership, say like in a place like Cuba, can see, hey, we're going to have to be careful how we handle this thing.
Exactly.
We could be next. So
that's right.
But my point is that the majority of the American people really, they're just not used to this kind of approach to leadership.
Yeah.
It's more been appease, give them more money.
Oh, yeah. Let's don't talk about money. Let's don't mention what's happening in Minnesota and all these other states. Wow. I tell you what.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We'll get fired up real quick. Yeah. All right. Let's leave the audience with this question before we move on to the next one. Okay. Do you think economic collapse is accidental or engineered? Comment below. All right, here we go. We hint on this one just a little bit, but let's kind of flesh it out a little bit. Here we go. We're going to talk about Russia and Ukraine, war without resolution. What does this conflict feel? Why does this conflict feel endless? And what does war fatigue reveal about our modern society?
Well, it feels endless because it's been going on for so long, and they thought it was supposed to just, Russia just go in there, take it over, and that's it. But that hadn't happened at all.
Yeah. Go ahead and keep on talking. I'm going to look it up on my phone on when it started.
And I think the U.S. basically is. I don't think Putin really realized how much the help that the U.S. was going to be giving that would cause such a problem for them.
Mm-hmm. So AI said that the Russia-Ukraine war full-scale invasion began on February 24th, 2022.
Wow. So
yeah.
It's 4 years ago. And and the thing about it is it doesn't seem like there's any either side rising to dominance.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of a sudden, Russia did this and this, and then the next, and then Ukraine did this and this.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of back and forth and all. And then, of course, we keep getting to these things. Okay, we're going to have peace talks, and the Ukraine guy comes in and he's willing to talk, and then you think Putin's willing to talk, but in the process of him saying he's willing to talk, he attacks.
I know,
attacks and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's so sad because what really breaks my heart is all these people in Russia and in Ukraine dying over the ego of power hungry despots.
Yep.
And it's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, you got how much land does Russia have to have, for crying out loud?
I know.
And of course it has to do with access to different ports and all that kind of stuff. But still, it's so sad that just when we think we're finally coming to the point where we've risen to a certain level of sophistication and beyond all that, man, we're right back in the middle of it again.
I know.
So
it's crazy.
It really is.
All right, here we go. This is for our audience. Does constant war numb us or wake us up spiritually? Comment below. All right, here we go. China and Taiwan. Yes, the quiet flashpoint. Economic pressure, military posturing, and global dependency. Why does this situation matter more than headlines suggest?
Well, the situation matters so much because the U.S. has made a commitment to Taiwan that if Russia does or if China does anything, that they're going to intervene. Mm-hmm. And we don't know how much what kind of cost that could be, or what level of intervention is it going to take to do that. But the U.S. has to, if it's going to maintain. Trump has really helped the U.S. gain more respect in worldwide now, as far as
totally agree with that. Yes,
because it was gone with
Joe Biden. It was a joke.
Yeah, total joke, and now it's back. And so the Taiwan thing there is that I hope China doesn't come to the point where they say they have the attitude put up or shut up type thing.
Yeah.
And So it's just, I'm thinking though that what Trump has been doing with the Venezuela thing and all that, he's been undermining the ability for Russia and China to retaliate. A lot of this oil that is supposed to be going to them.
Yeah.
And it's not going to them now.
Do you think maybe that Trump and China and Russia get on the phone, Putin, they get on the phone quite often and say, okay, we'll concede Venezuela, but you got to let us have Taiwan or something. It just makes you kind of wonder. That the scary thing about Taiwan, though, is their computer chips. And so we are heavily dependent on technology from that country, Taiwan.
Well, and another thing about Taiwan, they're not a bunch of communists.
True. Yep.
You know, they're very much like we are. We're about success and capitalism and all of that. Mm-hmm. And they're a great partner as far as all that goes.
Yep.
So anyway, and we just need to uphold those kinds of countries, I think, to show the difference between, hey, here's how free markets work, and this is how communism works,
sure.
Socialism, where everything's free, but somebody's got to pay for it.
That's right. But soon we're going to have a new system, and we're going to be free from capitalism. We are going to all have universal high income. And robots will do our jobs. Robots will be sitting here by next year. So you and I will be just outside singing Kumbaya and just living free, because we'll have a universal high income. We'll have so much money that we won't know what to do with it, and so much free time that we'll just play.
Yeah, sure. Well,
and the robots will take care of everything.
Yeah, well, you're going to have AI. I mean, you don't have to feed them. You don't have to, put them in a house or anything. You just let it do all the work. And so then they do the work, and then the money flows. And then
that's right.
We don't have to do the work, so all we have to do is collect.
That's right.
It's what the results of their work, the robots' work.
And they'll turn your house into a battery power plant. Okay.
Really.
All right.
It is a concern, though, because a lot of people are buying into that mentality, sadly. Well, and of course, you have so many people that even in this country that have such an entitlement mentality that, well, I demand this because they owe it to me.
That's right, because you
just
deserve it.
Just because I'm a citizen.
That's right, you deserve it.
Not because I've done anything to help the income to be there. It's just that because I'm an American, I deserve it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You need to create yourself a learning facility for kids. All right. Question for our audience.
Let's see. Can I get $1 billion out of that?
Sure. I was going to give you $5 billion, but if you only want $1 billion,
okay.
I was going to write you a check from the Department of Treasury and sign it, Joe Biden. I
can say this. I do have 30 orphans in Kenya that I'm feeding every week, every day.
Amen.
If anybody wants to help,
send this man some money.
Yeah.
Make the check payable to me, and I'll make sure you get 1%. Terrible, isn't it?
But that's a great thing when you got these kids that are street kids, and you're actually being able to help them.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to help people.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Question to leave the audience with on this question: should Christians pay attention to Asia's role in prophecy? Why or why not? Comment below. All right, here we go. Next section. We got 2 more sections. All right, here we go. Surveillance, currency, and control. Digital IDs, cashless systems, data tracking. Are these conveniences or foundations for control?
Well, they're certainly convenient, so to speak, right now. But and yes, they are the foundation for control. And once you get the wrong kind of power, or those who are in power, that want to keep the power, they'll definitely take advantage of whatever they can of all that to do that. And that's when you get leadership in government that's more concerned about maintaining power than doing what's best for the people, that gets to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I constantly hear this, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I've heard it quite often, that when officials get elected into office, whether it be our local, state senate or representative, the first thing they start thinking about is how to get reelected.
How to get reelected.
And how to stay in power. Is that true?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not there to serve the people. They're there to serve themselves.
Well, Sally saw that. My wife, of course, was in the House of Representatives for 12 years, and she'd see people that really conservative coming in and all that. And after they're in there for a while, they're trying to figure out, okay, I've got to be on the right side of leadership and all that. I've got to make sure I get the right kind of committee chair and all that stuff. And they begin to become more concerned about being able to maintain that than they are about really, okay, when I look at this bill, how's that going to help the people or not help the people? It's more about how do I have to vote on this to make sure it doesn't hurt my re-election.
Wow.
I saw that a lot.
That is sad, my friend. That is sad.
Very sad.
All right, here we go. And did you answer that question as to your full extent? We quickly got on to another topic there, didn't we?
Well, we answered it. I mean, in the sense that basically, yeah, it's convenience right now, but if you get the wrong kind of leadership in there, and it will sooner or later, it will become a problem.
And it will.
Yeah. And
all right. At what point does safety become submission? Comment below. All right, last question for today. Are Christians truly watching?
I hope there's some. I've got 2 grandsons. One's 18, one's 15. I want to sit them down and I want to ask them a question.
Bring it on.
Are you ready to die for your faith?
Ooh.
Because as I see, they make a big deal out of the Democrat socialists that are really Muslims gaining positions. And it seems like we need to understand that there's a whole lot more to that than just a couple of mayors in big cities. And how that Islam is really gaining more and more influence. And of course, we already see it in Europe and in England and places like that. And they've learned to use our own government constitution laws, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and all of those kinds of things to gain more and more power, and influence, and using the idea, well, if you don't agree with them, you're intolerant, all the kind of stuff like that. But I don't think a lot of, we all need to get together, it's all the same God and all those kinds of things. And and a lot of Christians really do not realize that we're moving in the wrong direction. And that really Islam, fundamental Islam, Christianity cannot mutually coexist. Because
it's all a bumper sticker that says differently. No, I'm just joking.
I know, but I'm really concerned about how that it's developing, and on the basis of what we've observed historically, things are happening a lot faster now than
I know.
More and more and more and more, and taking more and more. I mean, just like how did the Somalian thing get going? They got so much influence in the big city that for someone to run for a state election, they had to win. They had to have that vote there, and in Minnesota. And that just is one example of how things are beginning to develop. And so I think that we're finally going to come to a point. I don't know. Of course, I'm going to be 80 years old. I've got my grandsons and my sons. I don't know what they're going to be facing 20 years from now,
or even 2 years, 3 years down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have a question, though.
We do have to just to say though that no, not everybody's watching like they should be.
And hopefully this question will perk some interest of our listening audience, as well as some people who like to dig into research.
Yeah.
I read this. Now I'm kind of questioning it, and I like to know if it's fact. The question is, or the statement is, in Muslim countries, it is not acceptable for Muslims to go out into the streets and pray.
Oh.
They go out in the streets and pray in the countries that they want to conquer.
Right.
Now, is this a true statement? Let's find out. If you know a Muslim, or if you're a Muslim and you're watching, comment below, and I would like to know if that's true. Because if that's true, what the scary thing is that my wife was just recently at a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And there was Muslims setting up their blankets and praying right in front of a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's not acceptable, but is that their way of praying to Allah to take over this country, and that's their goal? Do you think that's their goal? I think that's their goal. They want to take over the United States of America. They want to take over the world.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. We talked about that today with the group of guys from Café. They'd read about all that, and they're saying that, when they go into other countries, they pray out, get a property that they're wanting to claim, and they put out their blankets and they pray. They don't do that in the countries. Why don't they do that in Muslim countries? Because it already belongs to Allah.
Yeah.
They're claiming it for Allah. We're claiming this for Allah. And that's
well. Fortunately for America, we have a redneck army.
Well,
I'm sorry. That sounded very violent. That sounded hostile.
People don't when our founding fathers had the concept of freedom of religion, they were thinking in terms of Christianity.
Yes.
They had no concept. They had no idea about Islam. They had no idea about Hinduism. Their idea was, okay, freedom of religion. You're free to go to church or not to go to. You're free to be a Christian or not to be a Christian. Or you're free to be a Baptist, or you're free to be Episcopalian or Catholic or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That was their whole idea of freedom of religion, but they understood that the country was established as a Christian country based on the Bible, the God of the Bible, Yahweh.
Yes, correct.
And so that was their whole understanding of freedom of religion and freedom of speech and all those kinds of things. That was their foundational understanding of putting together the Constitution.
Yep.
From the Declaration of Independence. And so when you see things coming along, religions and everything coming along that are going to start trying to undermine and replace things in our Constitution because they're saying that it's not their religion or it's their religion, that kind of thing. Are our courts going to hold up to that, or because of their intention of their interpretation of the Constitution as original intent? Or are they going to come with their way of saying, well, okay, this is the way things are now, and so we have to decide on that according to that understanding.
And we will find out, won't we?
We will.
We will.
And so it's kind of an important thing what's going on. How that people need to know. So many of our people in our country, they don't really know what the foundations of our Constitution and our laws that protect us are really it's becoming pretty wobbly. So
Yep, it is.
Yeah. And so I'm concerned about that. And that thank God we've got a pastor here that's trying to go out and get other pastors and everything. Hey, guys, do you guys really know what the Constitution, what it's all about and all that, so that we can alert your people to be actively involved as good, solid Christian citizens or citizens in a Christian country. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's something that we're dealing with.
Yep. Leave our audience with one final question. All right. What does being watchful actually look like in the daily Christian life? Comment below. Any final words?
I think we've covered it pretty good.
Sounds good. Thanks for tuning in on this week's New Year edition of A Pastor's Cafe. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.
This broadcast is made possible by the friends and partners of LibertyNetwork.live. We thank you for your support.